Hey guys, welcome to Operation Crypto. The market does look absolutely horrific, doesn't it? I think the S&P 500 has had a bit of a dump. Just look at that, it's come back down and retested that 200 daily moving average, and it has brought Bitcoin with it ever since it hit all-time highs towards the end of 2021. That's been dropping, and if you look at Bitcoin, that's been dropping too. It had a shitty December, and it's just rolled right through to this year. So let's have a look at Matic. We'll start off with USDT pair. As Bitcoin is dropping, it is pulling the rest of the market down. And just looking at this blue line here, this is the daily 200 moving average. And you can see it's a key place where we have bounced several times. So we hit it here back in July. We've ended the same back here in September. And there's always that possibility that we do come down and retest that area now. Couple of bearish points to note. We have formed a head and shoulders pattern here. So if you can see, we have the left shoulder, the neckline, the head, the right shoulder, and we are starting to drop down now. So price action is starting to come down, and personally, I see a drop down to this daily 200 moving average. So if you're looking for buys on this, I would consider buys at around $1.61. Currently priced at $1.87. Market's looking very bleak, and let's have a look at the entire move here. If we just look at this entire move in terms of fibs, it's going to come down and test that region there, isn't it? So we've come back down and retested it here. 786 looks a nice level. So I would ladder a few orders in from around 173 down to this potential bottom here at around 142. That's some areas I would consider either shorting, so potentially shorting from this current price to try and get some orders loaded up down here, or just to look for some spot positions to buy down here. The market still look bleak, and it's been a bad 8 to 10 weeks now, but for some reason I'm still clinging on to a little bit of hope. I think that Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, it's just sitting on the moving average 20, which is usually a good long-term indicator. On a lot of alts, we are starting to come down and retest this 200. So for me, I'm still on the fence a little bit. I mean, the markets do look horrific. All traditional markets look horrendous. But I think the fact that the world economic situation is looking bleak, I think that's another feather in the cap for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin starts to rally with all the economic crisis around the world, I think that could be a good time, and a good time for alts to potentially load up. Back in March of 2020, we had that COVID dump for the traditional markets looked terrific, but that's when Bitcoin bounced, and it's been pretty much upwards ever since. We have had all-time highs, major pullbacks, and let's see what goes on. I mean, these orders down here would be decent. Remember, we've still got orders where you could fill down here, this level of $1. It doesn't look too nice there, but just be wary that although the markets look bad, they can always look worse. So just be wary of that, and that's a decent area of support down there at $1. I'm not going to say it's going to go to $1. I think we will bounce here, or we maybe on this 786 level. But for me, it is what it is, isn't it? And if you're bullish on crypto long term, just keep buying. Dollar cost average down. Even if it comes down and tests this region down here, which I'm not saying it's going to do, just keep buying and stick around. Honestly, stick around in crypto, because there's not many people I can remember who've been here since 2017. Most people, after that drop in 18, most people disappeared. And if you have the minerals to stick around, you really start to see some growth. And we do bounce. So that's a buy zones. That's a bit of a bearish scenario. Orders, I mean, you could put some orders down at $1, but ladder them down from around here, maybe 1.74 all the way down to that magical dollar mark. If we do bounce off some of these regions, in terms, let's look at moving averages first. 20 and 50, actually about to form a bearish cross here, which is not usually the best sign, and that's usually a lagging indicator. So you might get some price action definitely down here. But if we need to go back bullish, we need to get back above this golden ratio 198. Flip these EMAs at around 219, 220, and then I think we'll be able to start to recommence a little bit of bullish price action. If you look at this though, on the weekly time frame, I mean, it looks good, doesn't it? I mean, look at that continual growth, retesting of that 20. We've actually not lost that 20 many times. We're currently set on it as support. We had a few closures below it, but we bounced straight back up. let's see what goes on. I'm still in favour of some bullish price action. The RSI there was actually well overbought, so we could see we was overdue a drop. And on the daily time frame, what's the RSI saying? RSI is starting to drop a bit, so I mean, it doesn't look like it doesn't feel like it, but it could be some good opportunities to dollar cost average into his assets now that the markets are tanking. So that's that pair covered. Let's just take a quick look at the Satoshi pair. Not many people are trading Satoshis, but I think it's definitely worth we just take a quick look at it and see what's going on. Let's get rid of all this noise. Let's get rid of moving averages. Get rid of those. So the Bitcoin chart looks quite good actually. Let's just mark the all-time high up, which was back in May 21. Hit 6,664 Satoshis. Did quite a savage pullback from those highs to the lows. We did a 70% drop, let's call that. And we're on a good rally. Whenever Bitcoin is usually performing badly, altcoins can stay mid-ground or potentially push up in the Satoshi pair. So it is not dropping so much now as it is on the Bitcoin and this the dollar pairing. So that's a good sign. We're currently sat in a nice level of support here. If you look at that resistance, you could even drag it all the way through. Look at that wick, catch that resistance. So that's a key area at 4,700 sats. Looking at this in terms of fibs from the start of a move to the top of a move, if Bitcoin goes in a rally, altcoins and Satoshi pairs will start to feel the pain and will start to drop. I think you could get orders filled down at 3,700 sats. It's a clear area here. If you look at these wicks, loads of wicks within that area. There's a potential that you could get some orders filled down there around 3,500 sats. We're currently at 4,800. Let's wait and see if Bitcoin does pull something out of the bag and starts to push on, which doesn't look likely at a minute, but if it did, Satoshis might start to drop and look at these levels, 3,500 sats, maybe ladder them down from 4,500, 3 to 4 orders within that area, and I think there's a good potential that you could get some loaded up there. If we do bounce, then you look, the major take profit areas there, 5,777 sats. It's not going to get above there at all anytime soon. So that's it. That's the price analysis of Matic covered. Polygon is a strong asset. Leading into the next 3 to 4 years, things are going to start to look good. And I think, personally, I can imagine the growth just to continue and continue. And that's for the rest of the crypto market, even though, like I've mentioned, it does look shit. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. So don't get phased out. Not many people watching these videos at the minute because market sentiment's down, which drives views down. So if you're watching this, I think you're still feeling hopeful on the future of crypto. So do not lose any hope. It will bounce at some stage, whether that's here or here. It will bounce at some stage. That's going to do it for today. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.